Ah, this is my second installment of my favorite biblical contradictions. Number one, the chief priests bought the potter's field where Judas died, but Judas bought it. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. And the chief priests took the silver pieces and said, "It is not lawful for to put them into the treasure because it is the price of blood." And they took counsel and bought with them potter's field to bury strangers in. Now this man, Judas, purchased a field with the reward of iniquity, and falling headlong, he burst asunder in the midst, and all his bowels gushed out. Obviously, this second passage expects us to understand that Judas bought this field and then went out into it and, fell down and burst open. Christians claim that he first hanged himself and then fell headlong. Fall headlong is to fall headfirst or to fall in one's haste. That doesn't sound like Judas was hanging and then got cut down. It sounds like what it says. He bought the field and then perhaps clumsily and maybe even accidentally fell. That's what we would think if we didn't have that other verse saying he hanged himself. In any event, Judas either hanged himself and the priest bought a field, or Judas bought a field and then fell down and died. It can't be both. That we know, therefore it is most definitely a contradiction. Number two, Jacob bought a piece of ground that Abraham had already bought. And the bones of Joseph, which the children of Israel brought up out of Egypt, buried they in Shechem, in a parcel of ground which Jacob bought of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, for 100 pieces of silver, and it became the inheritance of the children of Joseph. And were carried over into Shechem and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham bought for a sum of money of the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem. Now, Hamor and Hamor can be the same person, and Shechem and Shechem can be the same person. But Abraham and Jacob, they're not the same person. In fact, Jacob is the grandson, not even the son of Abraham. The Bible is wrong in one place or another, and possibly both. Number three, David committed only one sin, but he committed at least two. And David's heart smote him after that he had numbered the people. And David said to the Lord, "I have sinned greatly in that I have done. And now I beseech thee, O Lord, take away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly." Because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. Well, it's true, I suppose. David did as Yahweh commanded him, and David, when he numbered the people. David called it a sin, and Yahweh didn't like it, even though he commanded it. But I think we understand that if David sinned, then he didn't do everything right except for the matter of Uriah. Number four, a famine lasted 7 years, but it lasted only 3 years. So Gad came to David and told him and said to him, "Shall 7 years of famine come unto thee in the land? Or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies, while they pursue thee? Or that there be 3 days pestilence in thy land? Now advise and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me." So Gad came to David and said unto him, "Thus saith the Lord, choose thee either 3 years famine." Now, what did we hear before? It was 7 years of famine. And then the rest of it goes on, talking about the other stuff. Now, 2 Samuel and 1 Chronicles disagree here. Scribal error, I know, right? But it doesn't matter. The Bible is wrong one place or the other. Nobody watched over it. Number 5, David paid 2 different prices for a threshing field. And the king said to Araunah, "Nay, but I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offerings unto the Lord my God of that which doth cost me nothing." So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. 50 shekels of silver. And King David said to Ornan, "Nay, but I will verily buy it for a full price. For I will not take that which is thine for the Lord, nor offer burnt offerings without cost." So David gave to Ornan for the place 600 shekels of gold by weight. So it was 50 shekels, now it's 600. On which is it? Second Samuel right or is First Chronicles right? Well, probably neither. But we see a big contradiction in the so-called uncontradictory Bible. Number 6. Abraham didn't know his God by the name Yahweh, but he did. I let myself be seen by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as God, the ruler of all, but they had no knowledge of my name Yahweh. Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand to Yahweh, God, most high, possessor of heaven and earth. Abraham called the name of that place Yahweh Jireh, as it is said to this day, in Yahweh's mountain it will be provided. Yes, Abraham called his God Yahweh, and even named a mountain after Yahweh. So Yahweh lied again. Oh, I know. Somebody went back and decided to change Yahweh's name to Yahweh, probably from El Elyon. But they forgot to take out this little verse that says Abraham never knew Yahweh by that name. When we start to fix errors, we sometimes don't delete enough. I do that sometimes when I'm editing my own writing. But the point is, this is a contradiction. A Christian once tried to fix this by saying that these people didn't really know this God at the time. That is, they knew he existed, but didn't really understand who he was. Well, they knew him by other names. The King James Version specifically says, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty, but by my name, Jehovah, was I not known to them. This clearly states that these men never knew this name for their God. So yes, this is simply a way to merge Yahweh and El Elyon and make them appear to be the same God. We can change the meaning of the words and make it say whatever we like, but it won't be true. By the way, even Eve, way back in the beginning, knew Yahweh's name. The man knew Eve, his wife. She conceived and gave birth to Cain and said, I have gotten a man with Yahweh's help. Number 7, Jesus disobeyed his own law. But I say unto you that whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of hellfire. And then he turns around and says, ye fools and blind. Yeah, Jesus apparently forgot what he said from the 5th chapter of Matthew to the 23rd chapter. Oops. Number 8, all things are possible with Yahweh, but they are not. But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drave out the inhabitants of the mountain, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley because they had chariots of iron. This is but a light thing in the sight of Yahweh. He will also deliver the Moabites into your hand. Now remember this. This is a promise by Yahweh that he will deliver the Moabites into the Israelites' hands. But when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too severe for him, he took with him 700 men who drew sword to break through to the king of Edom. But they could not. Then he took his eldest son, who would have reigned in his place, and offered him for a burnt offering on the wall. There was great wrath against Israel, and they departed from him and returned to their own land. Guess Yahweh wasn't strong enough once the king sacrificed to his own God. His own God defeated Yahweh, and Yahweh couldn't live up to the promise he had made. Now, that's pretty scary, to worship a God who can't even live up to his promises. Number 9. Yahweh punishes only the sinner and not his children, but he does punish the children too. Having mercy on thousands, overlooking evil and wrongdoing and sin, he will not let wrongdoers go free, but will send punishment on children for the sins of their fathers, and on their children's children, to the 3rd and 4th generation. Isn't that sweet? Fathers are not to be put to death for their children, or children for their fathers. Every man is to be put to death for sin which he himself has done. Okay, well, now here we go again. What mean ye that ye use this proverb concerning the land of Israel, saying the fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge? As I live, saith the Lord God, ye shall not have occasion any more to use this proverb in Israel. Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sins, it shall die. The soul that sins, it shall die. The Son shall not bear the iniquity of the Father, neither shall the Father bear the iniquity of the Son. The righteousness of the righteous shall be upon him, and the wickedness of the wicked shall be upon him. Okay, this is all the Old Testament. Yahweh just flips back and forth. But now we come to the New Testament. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zechariah, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. Yahweh and Jesus could not seem to make up his mind whom he wished to punish. He said he would punish the children for the sins of their fathers. Then he wouldn't punish them for the sins of their fathers. And then the children would pay for all the sins of all their ancestors. But remember, Yahweh never changes. That's another contradiction, but I covered that in my previous video. Number 10. Yahweh commands human sacrifice, but he does not. But nothing which a man is given completely to the Lord out of all his property of man or beast, or the land which is his heritage, may be given away or got back in exchange for money. Anything completely given is most holy to the Lord. Any man given completely to the Lord, and it may not be got back, he is certainly to be put to death. And here's another one. And further, I gave them rules which were not good. Yahweh gave them rules which were not good, and orders in which there was no life for them. I made them unclean in the offerings they gave, causing them to make every first child go through the fire, so that I might put an end to them. For the children of Judah have done that which is evil in my sight, says Yahweh. They have built the high places of Topheth, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I didn't command, neither came it into my mind. Oh my goodness, Yahweh. Does he think we forget all these things? Not only does the Old Testament contradict itself in regard to human sacrifice and burning of human beings, but the New Testament contradicts the idea that Yahweh never thought of burning humans as sacrifices to himself. While it supposedly never entered Yahweh's mind to do either, two strong claims of many Christians are that Jesus was sacrificed according to the will of Yahweh, and Yahweh will burn all his children who don't believe it happened. That's it for now. More to come. Thank you all. Bye.